Hello everyone, welcome back to the Big Bad Bench. My name is John, aka Big Bad Biologist, and today we're going to work on this guy. This is a Macintosh IIsi logic board from a $5 Macintosh IIsi that I purchased at VCF Midwest. We took this apart on, what was that, Wednesday that we did a stream? But I remembered that, here we go. I actually have another IIsi logic board that I purchased off of eBay that needs work. So we're going to be working on two IIsi logic boards today. So real quick, let's review what these look like. And here's we got the power supply, we got logic boards, we got other stuff that we might need today. But let's review what this thing looked like when we got it. So here we go. And take a look at that fun as I say hi to folks in the chat. Who all's here? We got Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. We got Millennium Max. Hello, Mark. Francois Rival. Jamie's Hack Shack. All Things DG. Mac 84. Gut Bomb is here. Jack 68K. That is not a clickbait photo. Francois Rival. Trina's Techno Babble is here. Chris Angelis is here. Julian Brown, welcome. Who else is here? Asmodeus Devil Duke. DIY is here. Hello. Garth Beagle's here. Hello. All right, so that's from the battery leakage. And what else do we got? There's some more from the battery leakage. And then there's some more around from the battery leakage. And what else? That's all we got going that way. Oh yeah, this is from the capacitor leakage and that little daughter board and the power supply. That's ugly. There's the case. You know, pictures never really do these things justice. Like Apple iPhones like to turn things more beige than they should be. But this thing is really brown. Oh, there's more from the power supply. That was gross. Look at that. Oh, that's gross, that power supply. Oh, that's gross. Look at it. Look at it in there. Look at all in there. Oh, God, that's bad. So, yeah, power supplies for the IIsi are really nasty. So that's the case. The case is not done yet, but I have started the retro brighting. So here we go. Look at that. It's not good yet, but it is better. Like compared to the color that we were looking at before, look at how far that's come. Let's go back to that. That's what it looked like before. And that's what it looks like now. So you can still see there's some there's a little streaking. There's, you know, there's still some brown there. But it's come a long way. You can still see this side is still kind of brown, or a little yellowed. I put this into my retro bright tank with a TV chassis that was covered in cigarette grime, and so it was not the ideal situation, but it's come a long way compared to where we were at 2 or 3 days ago. So you can see this case is going to come around. We'll get there eventually, but it's got to go back in. I gotta freshen up my retro bright tank. And again, that's what that looked like. This was so brown, and hopefully, I don't know if Dave took a little video of me after I got this, showing how excited I was with that. Maybe it'll show up the brown a little bit better. I think Dave said that he's gonna have his VCF Midwest video out today, which is awesome. Let's see, Adam Baranek, hello. Yes, the Apple logo is very pretty on the IIsi Jack 68K. And I DIY has a new video out today. I checked it out. It's very good. Of course, it's DIY's video. It's gonna be epic. You gotta go watch that. So yeah, definitely check that out. Socket Wench, hello. It just occurred to me that a sous vide gizmo might both warm the retrobyte solution and circulate it. Yeah, that's a that it is good to have a little bit of heat. That's why the sun is so good. You get some heat, you get some UV. That would definitely help out as well. Vic the Vicar, hello. Oh, I gotta shout out my Patreons. This is totally insane. Like, you guys are amazing. Like, I started the Patreon thing because a couple people asked, and I was like, okay, a couple people sign up. But the support has been totally wild. So I want to thank my Janka crew, Matt Hargett, Gut Bomb, Garth Beagle, Brian Garefort, David Starbuck, Ian Scott, or Pulpo, creator of the Pico Gus, Jamie's Hack Shack, All Things DG, Chris Angelis, Tech Ambrosia, and Scout. There are my Janka crew. Those people make sure that I have enough Janka every month. And then my Jank team, Hardware Hacker, Mark Kruger, DIY, and Charles Bullock. And always make sure you can sign up for free as well on Patreon. I do some exclusive social media posts on Patreon. I don't know, whatever. It might be worth it to some people, but I really appreciate it. We'll be able to buy 47 microfarad 16 volt caps now. I'll be able to actually work on computers. Maybe I'll be able to buy some solder that's not 40 years old. So I thank you all. I'm just like totally blown away. Another shout out I need to make real quick. And I'll throw this under the microscope so you can see some of the mess that this computer is looking at. There's some badness happened here on this particular one. I'm not going to say their full names because I don't know if they're cool with that. But L and K are a couple that I met at VCF Midwest, and they said that my streams are always on in their bedrooms at night, which take that for what it's worth. But Kay had to have some emergency surgery this weekend, I saw, and I just want to wish her well. Send out some happy vibes to folks because they seemed like a really lovely couple, and it was very nice to meet them. And it was, I mean, I'm always surprised when anyone says they watch my stuff. But yeah, get well soon, Kay. All right, so this capacitor was very angry on this guy. We'll see what that is. Surprising. So this is down by the SCSI connector. BBB after dark. So that capacitor, this one just disappeared. Also, this chip disappeared off of this board. I don't know if that was there or it got eaten away in the ultrasonic bath. This thing was pretty nasty. I don't think I have any pictures of it ready to go. This capacitor disappeared as well. So yeah, we got some parts to find. So let's see. I have an even worse 2SI board that I think I bought this whole system on eBay. Here's the carnage on this one. Yes, I paid actual money for this e-waste because this system had a riser in it that I wanted. Look at this mess. This one's too far gone even for me. Yeah, Jack 60K. It's never fun to look at the bottom of the cleaner to see what fell off in the ultrasonic bath. But it looks like that cap, what is that? 10, oh, something else just came off. That capacitor just came off. Let's see. There's 393s. So it looks like a 10 microfarad 16 volt cap. And then we have these LS175s. They look okay. They might have taken a little bit of heat, but let's. Oh yeah, that chip's totally gone on there. Yeah, there's lots of things missing off of this board. Yeah. Did someone else pop in that I missed? Hello, if I missed you. Victor Vicar, did I say hi to Luke? Hello. All right, so we need this cap. Let's grab our hot tweezers. Okay, hot tweezers don't want to wake up. My fancy Weller station is very angry. What the heck, bro? Yep, okay. Hot tweezers decide they're not going to work. Great. Thanks, Weller. Thanks, Weller. Sweller. All right, let's use hot air then. We can always use hot air to pull things off. It's I803866SX. Yes, it is time to return to the routine. So tantalums can get a little brown if you use hot air, but it should be fine. Back to the routine. I803866SX, did you say you were going to be streaming this afternoon? Or evening or something? Okay, that one's gone. Get this chip. That chip is totally going to be good. Oh, this board smells bad. I think I even put that board through the ultrasonic bath. Oh, I don't like the way that leg looks. And then we got to get this cap down here, this little guy. I could probably get a new one from somewhere else. Oh, there you go. I803866SX is streaming at 7 o'clock tonight. Don't want to miss that. Take this little guy. I was looking on the schematics for the 2SI. Yeah, that's gross. And I couldn't find that one. But whatever, just pull it off. It's probably a 0.1 microfarad from what I was looking at, but it should be fine. .01 microfarad. What did I just say? Sorry, I'm not feeling well. My partner got sick at VCF Midwest, and I think I finally picked up the VCF Midwest sickness from her. Took a bunch of NyQuil last night. Use my big solder because it has a bunch of flux in it. There we go. Are we like even anywhere near focus? Yeah, I probably should have masked. I was very, I don't know. I was not careful. There you go. Anytime you're around several thousand people, it's probably a good idea to wear a mask. Did anyone hear any final tallies of estimates as to how many people went to VCF Midwest? Gupom says, think WWGBD. What would Gupom do? Gupom wouldn't go to VCF Midwest if I were him. Hazmat suit. Hey, it's Ian Scott. Hello. You missed. I shout out all my Patreons. Thank you so much for being a Patreon there, Ian. Got to put this guy on that was missing, that we pulled off of another board. Parts board. Okay. Do the other side. We'll use good solder since that's actually a decent looking solder joint. There we go. Always want our nice, shiny, happy solder joints. Oh, there was something I kind of noticed over here. Let's see. I think if we poke at this chip, that some of these legs might be a little loose. Always check your, yep, see the solder like totally, oh, I don't know if you can see that. See that leg? That leg is wiggling. That leg is wiggling. The solder just, and that leg is wiggling. That one is wiggling. The solder just like turns to, oh, what is it? Lead 3 oxide. And it no longer is lead anymore. It's rocks. Garth says about the bathrooms in the Denver airport that had the blowers. I noticed that in a couple places in Chicago that there's blowers right in the sink, and they blow all the sink juices. That's the first time I've ever encountered that. I was like, oh, it's kind of nice that you have your own little blower. And then I used it, and I was like, no, that's wrong. That's not good. Just blowing all that sink water all over yourself. That's gross. Let's see if we can get those to flow. That is probably going to be bad. I would imagine this is not going to be pretty. Put a little, since we're here and we have our flux out. Hello, Steven Run 34. Welcome to the channel. Yes, I hope to see that run too. We're starting with my eBay one real quick first, just because I had already kind of started that one and I forgot. So I don't know if these things are actually going to be required. These are likely for the serial ports. Wow. Yeah, like I was saying, that's ugly. I think. Well, maybe some mess underneath will have flowed. I might need to take that whole chip off and redo it. Let's put this guy on. So, what do people think about my name for the Brown IIsi? Is the name in my thumbnail, I called it the Deuce SI. I think that's a little crude, but Garth liked it, and III DIY said it was not too crude. Again, I'm putting that chip on. I'm using a relatively big lead to start with, because that'll give us a little bit of stability. So yeah, if you don't like the name, just blame III DIY. Go leave a comment on his video about how this name for this 2SI is too crude. Yeah. Benjamin Dressler, hello. The PSU is definitely a leaker. We'll get to that one later on in the stream. The power supply was very ugly, but it looks like it cleaned up okay. Wow. Yeah, even with the flux, these guys don't want to stick. Wow. Just holding it on there a little bit. Let the flux work its magic. Ooh, that one's too much solder. Too much solder on that one. What the heck? Hello, hardware hacker. Welcome. Good morning. All right. Let's see. Let's clean that off. Let's see if any of those things are connecting to anything. Wow, I'm definitely sick. That is not as straight as I'd like it to be. Tell how sick I am by how crooked the component is soldered on. All right, what do we got? Let's get some beeps on here. So normally you can, a Mac will post without the serial ports, but it might have issues booting if you leave the extensions on. Sometimes if you shut the extensions off, it'll boot. All right, well, that's fine. They're all connected. Nice job, John. There. Yay. Oh, no. Yeah, that's on. It's ugly as sin, but it's connected, which for a 2SI is fine. That's fine. All right, so we got those on. We got one more cap to put in here. PooSI. Oh yeah, that one kind of rhymes. I like that. That's a good one. All right, we need one more 4716. All of the caps on the 2SI our 47/16s. You can see in this situation, you want to be really careful of soldering this, since you have 3 traces, and also this cap solder pad started falling off, but these particular caps have a little crown underneath, so it makes it so it's much less likely to touch anything underneath the cap. But it's still a good idea potentially to check afterwards. I should make sure that I put all the caps on the right direction. Seems that way. Seems that way. Gonna leave that shifted over ever so slightly. I'm gonna lift this side up just ever so slightly as well, just to reduce the probability that it's actually gonna short on something. Okay, so that's that one. Let's see. So this was the eBay one. I think we got all the bits on that we're missing. I guess we should look at the back. The back actually looks pretty nice. Yeah, the back's nice and clean. Yeah, so the back's good. All right, let's go to the IIsi. I like that name. So you can see here, remember what this board looked like here. Oh, not there. That's what the case looked like. No, what are we doing? Come on. There we go. This is what this CPU and this area looked like here. Oops. Oh God. Oh God. There we go. That's better. You can see there's some corrosion around the ROM, so that's not gonna be good. Oops. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's go back to the microscope. You can see that's way cleaner now. So one thing I'd like to check is, are all these legs still soldered? So you can see where our corrosion has eaten through. I want to make sure that all of these are still connected, because before, like on the IICIs that we were working on, you could have seen where they were, like, the legs had totally eaten right through. I do have one more spare 68030 that I could potentially replace this with if needed. This was also really bad over here. This is one of the ROM chips, but that looks like that cleaned up pretty well. So again, I use citric acid in my ultrasonic, about 10 grams per 15 liters of deionized water. You can see the solder mask came off there, but that's fine. We don't care about solder masks so much. All right, let's start recapping this guy. Hardware hacker asked if I'm going to MIT Swap Fest. No. One, I'm sick, so I really need to recover, and I just socially I kind of need to recover. VCF Midwest was awesome, but it was a lot for my brain. I think I've mentioned before that, you know, I have social anxiety disorder, so that was a very, very strenuous weekend of activity for my brain. But I want to thank everyone for being so nice and lovely. Yeah, con funk, con crud, whatever you want to call it. Oh, there's some grossness there. Got got some junk that's decided to stay. That's never good. Even through the ultrasonic bath. So in situations like this, one of the things I've started doing is I take a little bit of this brush on, deox it, and just let it soak a little bit, and then we'll come back and clean it up later. Let this all kind of get on there, soften up that crud. Could we call it con crud, since we got this from the con? Hello, Mark Anning. Also, I'm not going to the VCF swap meet next month. It's a good event to check out. I've gone before. It's a lot. I Yeah, that cap's there, unlike the other one. That chip's there, so that's good. Um, it's I wouldn't be getting like a hotel or anything because well, one, because I spent quite a bit of money going to VCF Midwest. Um, it's just a lot to go for one day. Once you start getting old, driving around 8 hours in one day can be a lot. So yeah, I'm not going to the VCF. I'm hoping to go to the MIT Swap Fest next month, just because I do have some stuff I'd really like to get rid of. But we'll see. We'll see. Wow, 32 people on. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that would be swell. I already shouted out my Patreons. Thank you again so much, Patreon people, patrons. I guess it's called a patron when people pay you. I'm still totally in shock that anyone would give me money for doing this, but I really appreciate it because I think I have a 47 microfarad 16 volt cap addiction, and that helps pay for that. So again, I'm just using a little flux, a little solder braid. These are cleaning up real nice compared to that other board. Oh man, I had to do some hardcore scraping on that other board. That was disgusting. This one I'm going to be a little bit careful. Where are we? There you are. I'm going to be careful in that set of traces underneath there, just so that we don't dislodge any of that solder mask, make it less likely to short that out. There we go. Look at how nice this board is cleaning up. Wow. Wow. Who can do the, oh shoot, now I forget who that is. Oh, I don't know celebrities. Gutbaum found a gray hair in his beard last night, so the beard is going, yeah. I used to have really long, beautiful hair. I know it's hard to believe that. But once my hairline started getting too far back, it looked like I was an old dude trying to hide his hairline. I was like, nope, that's gone. Live with the hairline that I have. It's fine. Owen Wilson, thank you, Adam. Okay, all right. So all of our traces are blah 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 words. All of our solder pads have cleaned up very nicely, so that's good. That gives me hope that this board will not be too awful. Let's toss some caps at it and see if we can get it to power up. So again, what I normally do with these, I'll put some some solder on one pad. And then we'll position our caps. And you could put more flux on here if you really wanted to, but generally this little residual flux from when we took the solder off is plenty. And plus there's the flux that I use has, or the solder that I use has flux on the inside. Uh-oh, it looks like there's a little piece of plastic hanging off my soldering iron. I must have touched something. Really, this is not the ideal tip. My little bent tip actually works really well for doing these. These are big pads. You can use a bigger tip on this kind of. Come on, multiple dimensions. Here we go. There we go. We're in. We're on. Okay. There we go. 2 down on that board. Let's go over to here. This should be a pretty quick job. There's not many caps on the IIsi. That one is way crooked. We don't allow that to happen here. Never leave your caps that crooked. Okay. Always make sure you have your shiny, happy solder joints. Look at that. That is shiny, happy. Yeah, I miss hair. I used to be pretty. I'm sorry. Could you imagine my YouTube channel if I was still pretty? Although if you're like IIDIY and you make killer content, then it doesn't matter what you look like, even if you are just a pair of gloves floating in the ether. Okay. This little row of caps has decided it doesn't want to open nicely. You will open. I don't care. The pretty big bed bench. Wigs and hormones exist. Yeah, I'm also lazy. So there's that. I think at one point in my 20s, I did use that stuff. Shoot, what was this stuff called? I don't know. The stuff that helps you regrow your hair. The hormone. I was like, I'm not doing this every day. What the heck? One, I don't have the money to. At the time, I definitely did not have the money to do that. 2, it's like, what? This is just too much work. Propecia, that's what it was called. Or Rogaine, yeah. Oh, what I missed? I missed the capacitor. Wow, I am sick. That one is going to be slightly crooked just because, or not crooked, but just shifted ever to the left so slightly. Cancel those. Okay, so now we gotta go up here. Got 4 left. That's not better. One, two, three, 4. Ploop. Let's plop that on there. Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about the Propecia birth defect thing. I remember the commercials being like, yeah, don't go near that stuff if you're pregnant. Something about a broken tablet, like get out of the room if you're near a broken tablet. Come on, John. Even if you're sick. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't care that you're sick. We can't have a crooked cap. This is the big bad bench. Oh my gosh. What is going on today? Okay. Don't move. Okay, we're good. All right, we're good. What is going on, bro? There we go. Oh my gosh. It's not hot or anything in here. It's like my workshop is 150 degrees Celsius. Don't move. Okay. Wasn't the hair club for men, wasn't that like a monthly fee too? Did they charge you a monthly fee just to rent a wig from them? Okay. All right. They're all on. Let's try to power this puppy up. That sounds fun. That is something else. All right, so let's set you aside now, power supply. So this is, I got this out in case we wanted new caps, but I think we're happy with our old caps. So this is a 2CI power supply. It should work just fine for the 2SI. It doesn't fit that way. It fits that way. With just a little extension on there. We shouldn't need RAM because there's RAM on the logic board. The problem with the 2SI is this stupid chimey-majig. Yeah, that's a good word. Speaker. Wow, good job, John. So we need this. I tested my little adapter on a regular 2SI before we started today, just to make sure that my video settings were correct. If you have this particular one, I'm currently set to 3, 5, 6 on and at position 3, whatever the heck that means. Justin D. Morgan did a really nice summary on, I think on Tinker Different forums. Hey, it's Sloopy Malibu. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. We got no chime. We got video with a mouse. I bet you that speaker's too corroded to do anything. All right, let's shut that off. That's fun. We got we got video. Let's plug in a blue SCSI. And let's plug in a mouse. And let's see if this would boot up. 3, 2, 1. Oh, let's put in some more RAM. Just because I think this might try to boot to 753. And what's the 2SI have? Like 1 meg of RAM on board. So we got to give it more than 1. Oh, we could plug in external speakers. Let's plug in an external speaker and see if that works. Oh, phone jack. Is that a microphone or headphone? What's the order? What's the order? I always forget the order. The one closest to the power is the microphone. So this should be the speaker out there. Justin's on his 4th bad 2SI. Oh no, that's a shame. Okay. All right, let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. Chime! Yay! All right, so this thing is corroded as heck. So that might be an issue. We should also check our resistance across those 2 leads. I don't know what this one is. Probably 63 ohms. $16 ohms. Okay, so that means that there's resistance in the speaker. So that means it's probably okay. Look at that, it's booted. It's booted. Oh, my camera's starting to slide. I'm not going to adjust that on this during the stream. Oh, I powered it off wrong. Oh my gosh. Nice. Oh, this is going to take a hot minute. There we go. About this Macintosh. Yep, we got our 5 megs of RAM. Sweet. All right, let's shut that off. Power shuts off. Nice, nice. Okay, so this is the board. Remember, this is the board that looked like this. So yay, yay. A little ultrasonic bath action. This was the RAM that was in here, so I can't tell by looking at these if that's a 1 meg or a 4 meg sim. So let's put this in, see if the RAM works. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Chime. Guff Bomb is glad it works. Shame it's a 2SI though. Yeah, as Ron said, you do all this work and it's still just a 2SI. We'll have to see if this power supply is going to fight us. So this is 753, right? It's actually pretty quick for a 2SI. Oh yeah. Those are 4 meg sims. Wow. Wow. I might need to go and talk to that, give that guy some money. So remember, I paid $5 for this computer. I should probably find him and send him a few more bucks, since those are 16 megs of RAM. So, wow, that's cool. All right, so let's try the other one, the eBay one. eBay board. It was marked at 20, yeah. And on Sunday morning, I came by and I was like, "Will you do 5?" And he's like, "Yeah, take it." It was ugly. Very ugly. Okay, that's that. That's that. Let's do a video. Let's see, where's our this? That one goes in that one. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Ah. Ah. We got an immediate sad Mac. So that's telling me that there's probably something around here. Oh. No, I think, oh, let's try a thing. Let's try a thing. Let's see what happens if we stick a non... Oh, what happens if we put some actual RAM in there? Sometimes the connection to the onboard RAM gets a little wonky. Let's try this. That's very loud. It's very loud. Can I turn you down? I can't find the amplifier. Yeah, we're getting no video. All right, so yeah, let's try this. Let's put in a ROM sim. Put our jumper on there. Let's see what that does. That's funny. Even with the ROM sim, it does an immediate sad Mac. All right, well that's something. It's showing some signs of life. You always worry with these. Let's take a look in the microscope. I think this section looks a little wonky, but we might come back to this another time. I want to start moving on to the power supply for the, what do we call it? The POO SI? I like that name. See these guys? I think these are these the RAM multiplexers? Take that off. Does it do anything? I'm wondering if one of these joints is bad because it looks just like the other one. There could also be a trace somewhere else that's gone. But let's look at these real quick. Ooh, that one's ugly. Someone correct me what a 245 is. It's a data buffer. Sloopy Malibu, you think I'm fancy enough to know how to connect it to the serial port and find out what the problem is? I don't know what serial ports are. That one is very crusty. Let's see. Dang. I was hoping that would be the issue. They're all connected on that side. Sloopy probably knows what a 245 is. Did you already say it? Hey, it's Jeff Geerling. It was nice to meet you at VCF Midwest. Yeah, it was very smoky looking. It was just had some discoloration. The board works though. And the case looks better. Earlier in the stream I showed off the case. Yeah, they all seem to be fine. So we'll have to go through and look for RAM activity, see if there's a bad data line or address line. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, you can't see. Oh my God. I wasn't doing it right. I was doing all that stuff without the microscope. Why didn't anyone tell me that? Like, See that guy wiggle? That's a bad joint. That's a bad joint. That's a bad joint. That's a bad joint. Look at that. Oh my God, they're all bad. Wow. Wow. Yeah. All of these solder joints are bad on this side of this 245. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, the leg itself is bad. I think I have some 245s. I might have some 245s around here. Alright, so let's get rid of you. Did someone tell me what a 245 is? I forget if they're data buffers or muxes. Multiplexers. They might be buffers. Sloopy should yell at me. Like, John, you should know that. It's always nice to hang out with Sloopy at VCF Midwest. He's always entertaining. Gotta love a cranky old dude. Oh yeah, those solder joints are terrible. Bus transceivers, thank you, Jack. Oh, Trina's talking about her business. Go get him, Trina. Do a little scrapey scrape on these since this is no longer solder and it is now a rock. Oh yeah, that'll work great. Let's fluck this up. Fluck that up. Alright, where's... I think the 245s were in a big roll thing. Where the heck would I have put that? That's a 257. I think that's a yep, there's a 245. Okay. Today on pad lifters, there you go. All right, who's got money on this? Am I gonna lift any of these pads or no? What do you think? What do you think? Where's the action? Yeah, I think I have a roll of them around too. I don't know what I did with them. There was someone on eBay that was selling them in the roll way cheaper than what I could get them anywhere else. Well. Oof. That one's crusty. Crusty, bro. Yeah, this is a mess. This is a mess. Just be patient. Be patient. I'm going to cut a little bit off of that because it's starting to fray. Go slow. Make sure to never pull your your braid. You just want to use your tip to move the braid around. If you pull on your braid, you're definitely going to lose a pad. Most of our pads are good. That one is pretty angry right there. You can hear the crust. That is true. Crust me, bro. I like that one, Asmodeus. Good one. The pinheader has a bit of a stance. Yeah, it's on. You know, they don't need to be straight. It's all cosmetic. Alright, so before we put this back together, we'll just double check to make sure we're good. But yeah, this one I'm gonna come in with a little bit of this needs a little bit more. That one could use a little more. Make sure we can see that copper in there. Just want to be gentle though. I think this one's starting to go. So gotta be really careful. I think that one's starting to go too. Okie dokie. I think that's gonna be as good as we're gonna get it if I don't use my machine, right? We can also come in with the Dremel tool and polish these up, and that generally works pretty well. But if you have pads that are weak like this, it can accelerate their removal from the board. All right, let's check our beeps. Hello, Charles Bollock. Thanks for joining in live. That's good. That one goes off to somewhere. It's close enough for our purposes. That's good. That goes to there. That one goes somewhere else, but I think that's fine. Where do you go? Oh, you go over to there, so we can see that. I don't know where you go, but if that goes to there and there, it's probably fine. And you go to there, and you go to there. And you go all the way up here, and to there. That's good. That's probably good. All right. Yeah. All right. So all of our pads look good. All of our pads look good. So let's pull off. Let's grab one of these 245s. I think this was a pull off of a 2SI maybe. Or no, not a 2SI. Classic 2. Okay, and there's our chip. We'll lay down a little bit of flux. A little bit of flux. That'll prevent. So see how there's solder mask missing there. If you have a good amount of flux, it'll reduce the probability that you solder up stuff there. Accelerate their departure. Thank you, Jack 68K. It's bad enough that my brain is bad enough on a regular day. When I'm sick, man, there's like nothing left. I'm surprised that I've stood this long. Standed. What is up, man? Okay, well that's a nice big solder pad. So let's start with that one. Always start with a nice strong solder pad, so you can get your chip aligned nicely. Okay, that looks good. Now we're gonna, there we go. Oh, and I screwed it up. I screwed it up. Get back over here just a skosh. There we go. Okay, that's close enough. Now we can do the opposite corner. I want to scunch it. There we go. That's better. That's some good scunching. Yeah, the case was a very unique color. I've never seen a Macintosh this brown. It was something else. I was very excited to buy it. Dave, I think Steve also has a picture of me. Mac 84 has a picture of me being very excited after purchasing this computer. Or actually, sorry, this particular logic board is an eBay purchase. It just also happens to be a 2SI. So I figured, well, I was working on 2SIs. Let's work on this eBay one. But the other one booted up just fine. I'll do additional testing on it another time off stream. Maybe I'll do like Trina. Instead of mem test, I'll do a stream of just Snooper. I do love Snooper. Okay. But this eBay one was also very battery damaged. And it chimed, but it immediately sad chimed, which made me think it might have something to do with this area of the board. Hello, it's Callan. I got to meet Callan at VCF Midwest. It was very nice to meet you, Callan. All right, let's see. We got our speaker. Should we get silly and like just hook up a mouse and a blue SCSI and just assume that that's gonna work? Let's get silly. Oh, not that way. It's gotta go that way. Okay, we got our jumper off. Got that. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. No immediate sad chime. Yeah, we got gray screen. Hello, Carthor. Look at that. Holy crap. Nice. Hello, Wii Vibes. Electric Vibes. Sweet. So we got 2 2SIs. Happy today. That is awesome. Jack 68K, don't tell Justin. It's okay. Just don't tell Justin. All right. How long have we been going? About an hour and 15 minutes. All right. Let's I didn't think I was going to make it this long, but let's try the power supply. Let's take a look at this power supply. Should we control panels, monitors? Let's turn this into some color. It's going to default to black and white most of the time when you do this because you don't have the CMOS battery installed. We got colors. Oh, it's way slow at drawing. Now it feels like a 2SI. Oh my gosh, now it feels like a 2SI. Let's let this run some snooper while we work on the power supply. There you go. Look at how excited Sloopy is that we fixed the 2SI. So of course the other reason that I bought this is, well, this board is not the right one, but the other reason I bought the brown 2SI, or the Poo SI as has been dubbed, is because it has the riser with the 6882 math coprocessor. So that was another reason, because these tend to, well, they can be harder to find than an actual 2SI itself. Okay, you go away. I don't really need to see you. Let's do view log. Let's shut off our modem port because we don't have the loopback going. All right, you do your thing. All right, let's go back to here. Okay, so here's our power supply. Oh, what are you? I don't know where that came from. Oh, dude, I forgot to mention. Remember I mentioned on Wednesday's stream about the electron microscope at VCF Midwest. Somebody posted one semi-locally around here, almost the exact same model. And originally it was $1,200, and then they dropped the price to $200. If I had the space for an electron microscope for $200, you're sure as shoot I would have taken that, but I just don't have the space. So there's multiple types of risers that you can get. This one converts to a new bus slot. The other one, I have another one that's PDS slots. Socket winch. Effing hell, I would have taken that action. All right, so you can still see there's some crusties left. Oh yeah, I did have this outside yesterday, so there might be some tree leaves. There's still some crusties here, but I think we don't have to worry about these crusties. I don't think they're conductive crusties. These are the worst power supplies that you will come across in a compact Mac. This whole section over here was very crusty. You can still see how the solder mask was discolored and most of it's fallen off. But we'll get it. Let's go into them. Oh, so the other thing is this did go through the ultrasonic bath with the citric acid. And when I do that, I generally will take off the relay. There's a relay on here, and if you're pulling capacitors off, pulling this relay off isn't an issue. It's only 4 traces, 4 leads instead of 2. I forgot to do that, and it went through the ultrasonic bath with the relay on it. And so if you do that, just take the relay off. You can pop this little cap off the cover, and then make sure you dry it all out real well. So that's all dried out. There you go. So I'll put that back on. So Gut Bomb is apparently a microscope or a telescope aficionado. Oh, all right. This is going to be a little taller. Yeah, having an electron microscope would not be conducive to having a fast-moving existence, as is potentially required these days. Especially for the more vulnerable members of our society. so I just did those two corners. I'm just gonna push this, make sure it's up, make sure that's up, and then we'll do the other two. Sorry, this is not exactly in focus right now. I might need to adjust this a little bit. There we go. That's closer to focus. All right, so I did a little bit of scraping because there was just so much gunk everywhere, even after. So this is a situation where having detergent in your ultrasonic bath would be good. I did this one only as citric acid, so it didn't dissolve as much as you could potentially. So I think what we're gonna do is use our dental tool. Well, this one's not a dental tool, but it sounds like a dental tool. We're gonna clean this up because this solder is just so crusty. So, see how quick the eraser bits do on this stuff? It just makes it so much easier than doing a lot of scraping. These were very hard solder joints to undo just because they were basically rocks. I do not want to breathe this in generally, but you know. Oh, that one, the leg is still in it. That's not good. My emotional support scanning electron microscope. There you go. Fit that on the plane. Yeah, there's still some legs. Wow, that's bad. That's real bad. Yeah, a lot of these were very difficult to remove just because the solder was so crusty that it wouldn't flow anymore. So if you can clean off some of that crusty, it'll make putting your new caps back in much easier. Much easier. Let's clean this up. This had some issues. We're gonna reflow some solder over all that mess. Okay, all right, let's see if we can get these crusty bits off. All right, we've now done 3 cycles of snooper, and that board is happy. Yeah, that's gross. Okay. Oh, it still smells bad. Oh, it still smells bad. So you should use a bigger soldering iron for this job. I just don't currently have one. There we go. All right, that's better. That chunk was on my nerves. Okay, so let's take that off. Let's clean this up. That's better. Now we're doing it. There we go. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. That, yep, those are still things that need to go away. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Where did... Uh-oh. We lost microscope cam. Oh no, it's dead. Oh my gosh. Everything is breaking. Ah, alright. Well, I think we'll have to do the rest of this one without that. Alright, let's shut that down. The real-time clock just had an error. That happens sometimes in Snooper, I've noticed. I don't worry about it unless it's wrong. It gives you an error every time. Alright, let's shut this down. Hello, Pentium MMX. Is it a Windows 11 issue or the microscope itself? That is an excellent question. I would be willing to call it a Windows 11 issue. All right, so what are we doing? These two. There's two solder joints. Excuse me. Let's zoom in. We can do some zoom in. This works fine. That's fine. I think what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to use my snippers to cut this little chunks of solder off. All right, back to the dentist. Okay. What do you think? Trying to restore two iMac G3s. I have a lime green one that is nearly done. Bondi blue that I haven't started yet. Oh, good luck with that. I really hate disassembling iMac G3s. All right, let's see. Oh shoot, I forgot the IIsi case. Do I have? Nope. Oh, all right. Well, actually, I think I might end the stream here because I forgot I didn't finish cleaning up the metal part of the power supply, and I'm not going to try to power this thing up in my hand. I think that might be dangerous. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I think it might be dangerous. Oh wow, look what I just noticed. Look at that resistor. Sloopy still here? Do you think that resistor's still good? Oh yeah, that's just that is just falling right off of there. Wow. IIsi power supplies, you suck. You suck so bad. And we didn't even talk about this little sideboard. Those are a mess. Holy crap. This is still, well, I mean, it's reading 10 ohms. Yeah, you can make a modern IIsi power supply replacement. I try to make them, the originals, work if possible. So we'll come back to this. I don't know if you remember that this was very green as well. So the fact that we cleaned these up. Well, I think we made some progress today. The fact that we got two IIsi logic boards working. This one, we can still see, you know, you can see the copper in the traces where the stuff has started coming off. Remember, this is what that looked like this particular board look like. There was a lot of corrosion around the ROM chips as well. That's all cleaned up and it all worked. It came with 4 meg RAM sticks, and again, we got, let's see, that's what the case used to look like, and this is where we're at now. It's not perfect yet, but this needs a few more days in the retro brighting, but you can see it's way better than it was, and it'll clean up nice. So yeah, I gotta just make a new oh, there's a little spider. Hi, little spider. So I think that $5 IIsi was a pretty good deal. I'm pretty happy with this purchase. Okay. I'm going to get out of here, rest my lungs. I want you all to have a lovely week. Maybe I'll do another Wednesday stream this week. We'll see how the week goes. I want to thank you all for joining. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that would be pretty swell. We fixed 2 IIsi boards. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you the original caps in that power supply. That's why it was so bad. These things are disgusting. IIsi power supplies are the absolute worst. Okay, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate y'all, and have a lovely week. And as we say here at the Big Bed Bench, if you're a Trumper, go F yourself. Bye, y'all. Oh, and thank you to all my Patreon patrons. Yes, thank you, everybody. I called everyone out earlier. I'll do it again. I'll just show you the list now. Okay. Bye, y'all.